So now you know how to start a sequence, but how do we navigate the timeline, which is what we're going to be doing for most of our editing? I figured that the best way to jump right in and understand this is to look at our promotional video timeline. First though, let's swap over to the editing view, which gives us a little bit more room on our timeline. I'm also going to stretch the timeline over all the way to the left and also take this and drag it up so that we can really see our timeline. And as I do that, I actually start to see some things that I didn't see before on my timeline. I'm also going to reopen my sequence 1, which closed when I went over to my editing workspace. And just because that it wasn't opened before when I was on my editing view. And so now I see both of these, and there's lots of differences going on, obviously, except not just that there's one clip here on this timeline, but there's lots of different things here. So to start out, let's understand what the basic layout. So if we start here, we have a video clip that has video and audio. The video tracks are right here where it says V1, that's this horizontal line. The audio track is down here. So when we started the new sequence, it automatically put this clip here on this track. But say we take another video clip, let's take video 2, I'm clicking and dragging it onto my timeline. And as you can see, I'm hovering over different tracks. If I want to put it on video track 2 and audio track 2, I can drag it there. Video track 3, etc. And so now, let's see, now it's on video track 2. You have multiple tracks because when editing, you're likely going to be layering multiple clips on top of each other, layering effects, adding graphics and things on different video tracks. And similarly with audio, you'll be layering multiple audio clips. So going back to my promotional video sequence, you can see that for audio on track 1, A1, I have talking head. It's my talking head clip. On track 2, I have my music. On track 3, I have my audio effects. And you can see that I'm clicking while I do this, just to note, you can click and drag over your clips or your different media and select multiple that way. We'll get into how you edit and all this later. Another thing to note, the difference is that here you see these clips are a lot bigger. These tracks are a lot bigger. To make these tracks bigger or smaller, you can double click. You can also go to this little line in this area and click up and down. It's this space right here, this sort of blank space right here where you double click and it opens it up or closes it. We also see my footage right here, and this might be different for you. I want to make sure that it's the same. If you click this little wrench icon, it gives you all your settings for your timeline. And if you choose show video keyframes, it's going to show them or turn them off. Showing them does take up a little bit more computer power. So if it's just one of those extra things that if your computer is a little bit slow, you can turn off show video thumbnails. Okay. And that's just something to turn on or off. But I like having them to see them because now when I zoom in on my timeline, which I did by pressing the plus or minus key on my keyboard, or you can click this little bar down here and zoom in or out this way. Now I can actually see the clips or understand what those clips are. I can visually see, oh, this clip right here is of that book. Here's the clip of the sourdough loaf. And so it's easy for me to know how to move these clips around once they're on the timeline versus if I can't see them like this, or if these are smaller like this. Okay, so the tracks are smaller. Now it's hard to know what these clips even are. And one other setting that you might want to change because you might not see your thumbnails throughout the entire clip. If you click this menu, there's even more settings for your timeline. I have my thumbnails set to continuous video thumbnails. You can put it just at the head, which is just at the beginning, or you can put it at the head and tails. You'll probably see why you would do one or the other, but when I'm editing a long video clip, sometimes it's nice to have it throughout. But again, that's going to slow down your playback if you have a slower computer. So one thing just to turn on or off if you want. All right, so that's how you can preview. That's a lot of good stuff. Here in the audio tracks, when you expand this, you can see the waveform, which is a visual representation of the audio. And this is something that as you become more advanced as an editor, you really use this to edit your video. Sometimes I'll be playing through an interview and I can make edits based off of the waveform because I know, okay, well, there's a pause here, so maybe that's where they messed up or they were being asked a question. And I can see, okay, there's a blip here, a blip there. Those are cues to edit from. So just a good thing to view is the waveform. Again, you can turn that on or off here in this little wrench icon, okay? There are a lot of other things in the timeline that we'll learn as we go. On the left-hand side, though, there are some other options where you can toggle on or off tracks. You can lock them. So say we want to not see track 2. You can turn it off right there. See, when I do that in the program monitor, you can actually see it disappear, okay? If I want to lock a track, say I want to make sure that I don't move the music around that I've already laid down on my track, I can lock this track, and if I'm trying to select something or trying to select the music or I accidentally click it, I can't. See how I can click this clip and move it around, undo that, but I can't do that with the audio track. It's locked now, okay? So that's helpful when you're editing different things, and like I said, maybe you've already edited your interview and you have all of video track 1 and audio track 1 done, and you want to lock those down, and now you just want to add B-roll, your supplemental footage, to make to these other tracks. It might be beneficial to lock those down. Down in the audio tracks, you have muting options, so you can mute a track like this. So now I'm only hearing the other 2 tracks with music and sound effects. Or maybe you just want to hear one track and you can solo it by clicking this button in your own kitchen. In this video, and this is very helpful if you have lots and lots of tracks. So sometimes I'm editing a project that has 10 audio tracks, different music tracks, multiple people talking on separate tracks, and I just want to hear one track. You do solo, or maybe you want to solo 2 tracks. Maybe I just want to hear my talking and my sound effects without hearing the music read right in your own. I can do that. Conversely, I could have just muted the music track, but if you have lots of other tracks, that's where the combination of being able to mute multiple tracks or solo multiple tracks is very beneficial. This last one is a record button where you can actually start recording on a track, a voiceover with a microphone that is plugged in or your built-in microphone. These sliders over here also expand everything together. So instead of just opening one track, you can open all of them with this little slider over here. Same goes down here on the bottom for audio tracks. So that's a general understanding of the timeline and how it works. A lot of it's just playing around and getting used to it. And as we move forward with lessons, you're going to learn more and more about the features that we didn't cover in this video. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.